There are two videos, two pretty famous videos on YouTube. One is called 10 Questions That Every Intelligent Christian Must Answer, and the other one is called 10 Questions That Every Intelligent Atheist Must Answer. Uh, and I thought those videos were pretty clever. The questions were pretty clever, more or less. And I decided to also make such a video, uh, just for communists. There's some issues that I want them to think about, and it's not going to be 10 questions. It's just going to be maybe 4 questions. Actually, it's just one issue that I want them to really think about, because I don't think they have actually really done that. But it is the first thing they should think about uh, before becoming a communist. So this video is intended for really Communist Party members. Some issues that I want them to think about. Um, so because the all the communist texts, and of course all starts with Karl Marx, and everything that Karl Marx wrote uh, basically only contains two things, or two parts. It consists of two parts. One is basically the promise of a beautiful, nice society where everyone is equal, everyone is free, nobody gets oppressed, everybody has whatever he wants without having to work hard for it or anything. Such a beautiful, nice society where everything is just nice. And um, the other part consists of what you have to do in order to um, to get to such a society. And Karl Marx already says it pretty clearly. You can find that you can already find that in his original works, namely that he says it pretty openly that he requires, or that he established communism, and he says basically that for communism to take place, or for communists to take over, it is necessary for them to use violence, to violently abolish the former state of society, and to violently dispose of all the previous politicians and rich people, because rich people are also people who might have power. So of course you have to somehow find a solution for them. Otherwise, you will not be able to establish communism. And so those are the two main aspects. One is the promise of a beautiful society, and one is how he describes how you can get there. And those two things, those two basic things, are already contradictory. Because maybe the reason you're a communist is because you think, oh, so beautiful. I want society to be better. But how are you going to reach there? How are you going to get there? Have you thought about it? It's like the example that other guy gave, the professor who spoke about fascism, and of course he also talked about socialism. He basically said that fascism and national socialism and socialism are basically the same thing. Naturally, they're the same. They already have the same name, right? Uh, but he gave a pretty good example, namely, uh, in order to create a communist state, in order for communists to take over, what do you have to do? You have to basically steal. You have to take the money and the power away from the people who previously had it, and that's basically uh, just plain robbery, right? I mean, it's like, of course, and he gave a very good example. It's like you're going into a bank, because, of course, banks would be the first thing that you would have to abolish to create communism, because, well, banks do have a lot of money, and if there's anybody who really qualifies as a capitalist, then it's those rich bank owners, right? those bank owners. So you have to take the money away from them. You have to take away the money from the banks. For sure, you have to do that. And so it's like, can you walk into a bank and say, "Oh, hi, hi there. I'm a communist. And I kind of thought about, you guys, you have so much money and stuff, and and maybe you should give some of your money to other people who don't have as much money, or maybe you should be, just how would you feel about just giving me most of your money, give most of your money to me, and I will make sure I'll distribute it to the people I think who need it more, and maybe to some poor people, maybe also some of their money to my communist movement." uh, so would you just go ahead and hand me the money over, please? It's really for a good cause. Would you please do that? Is that gonna work? What is gonna happen? They're gonna laugh at you big time. Can you rob a bank that way? And it's just saying, "Oh, please, yeah." Is that gonna work? No, it's not gonna work. You better bring a gun. So it's absolutely impossible to achieve what Marx described without using violence, and he himself already realized that and required violence. You can find that in his writings. Uh, so my question is basically only this: isn't that somewhat contradictory? He promised you a peaceful society, but you have to use violence to get there. You say, "Oh yeah, but it's justified." Huh. So you think it's just gonna stop there? You think maybe probably it's just an ordinary Communist Party member, and maybe the Communist Party in your country hasn't seized power yet, and you have another leader, the leader of your Communist Party. So, uh, yeah, you want that guy to lead your revolution, a guy who has to use violence to violently, dispose of the people who had power before. You want such a guy to lead your movement? Oh, if that guy is willing to use violence to gain power, chances are he's gonna be willing to use violence to maintain it as well. So I wouldn't want to live in your communist state, that's for sure. So have you truly thought about it? I want you to think just, I want you to think just about this one issue, this one issue.